Omogasumi mwanchumulire bagetaseni kya Ndizi TV ritukoneli Alamisi chitariki ni Isano omutenyi gose chitariki ninye omutenyi gatano mwaka w'ekiri Ibere na 2023 chinga kine yaleganire kurugaiga ase studio nkomanye ase nchira yobwenge naralia yagendete gukoreka ime na isiko yorugongo rwa Gusii no nyanense ya Kenya engima ase bali mogotobwata wetera ase nchira yemitandao tonyore buna Ndizi TV News Digital eyonensemo ya Facebook na bayigo Ndizi TV News ase nsemo ya YouTube na ende nabogo tweet at Ndizi TV News na mange na kwaleganeire chinga kiechiga aliagendete gukoreka Chinsemo au igo kabamo na inche goika omoelio nkuira nande asege kege kekerebosyo egere nkomanye ayomana yanda mange asenchira yobwenge Ncheni gonkoro kwa Sara Nyarangi Ontita nole tokubwatera na komo korwa sensemo jibimanyererio nigakoro kwa Joshua Auta tigato ya chake korwa se county ya Nairobi ekerense ya Kenya ere nabageni batari babutambe abo bataretense yeiga bunenchire mo yokoreta maya gocha saba Kenya abo igoro omorikyo manene bwekyombe kya United Nations gose UN Antonio Guterres na taretense ya Kenya abwase aleganetigwe nomuraibwense Dr. William Ruto kolengana na Guterres na kwanerete igoro ye Chinsa cha Afrika bunana kichitaranyara ko bachigwetenera goikabono nonya chinyinge cyabo cyanyorete obosibore baigorana nyara tukobaga kumurekera amakongu ali Chinsa cyorogongo rwa Afrika kigenderete gwetera anene mono ugonchurire kwerire wose climate change asatebire ekine chingaki cy'abantu bonsi kubwaterana anene korwase Chinsa cyorogongo rwa Afrika na koranga naende ngwetenera chire egere chikole mirimo yabo bunebwenerete eye nerenkwana ya Guterres.
The institutions that are today the pillars of multilateralism, the UN, the Bretton Woods institutions were created, the African countries were not yet independent. They were not there. Their voice could not be heard. And so they were not represented, and today they remain dramatically underrepresented. Underrepresented in the UN, where there is still not one single African permanent member of the Security Council, which is something that is profoundly unfair and needs to be corrected, but also clearly underrepresented in the Bretton Woods institutions and other international institutions that were created to manage the global economy. And this, again, is something that a serious effort of reform must be able to correct. And I wanted to tell you that the United Nations is there to represent all nations of the world. But I believe that my role as Secretary General is to assume what is the need to address the dramatic inequalities that exist and to give the Global South the opportunities that the Global South requires in order to be able to catch up as quickly as possible, as it is absolutely essential for a matter of justice in our world. And climate change is the best example of that. As you said, Africa had a very small contribution to climate change, but many African countries are in the front line of the impacts.
Nigo amen tutegoteba buna ere buno muliki omanene bwekyombe kya UN na leta yale kubwatira ne Chinsa chonsi asensegima bunenchereye mo yokulia machibu yemechando aliabwatira ne tie Chinsa au asomubikano asense ya Kenya ne Chinsa chorongo rwa Afrika engana yo gonchurire kwelire no nyekere ngana ebwatoboko mwa Chinsa chonsi ense ya Kenya ya kumono amono mochando bugonchurire kwelire wose climate change asatebire mbachigo chamo bunabarai ne Chinsa kweneke bunababeire lichibuli kiranu asemechando elie kubwata Chinsa chinyinge.
Countries are not doing enough, emerging economies are not doing enough, and we have proposed the Climate Solidarity Pact in which both would assume more ambitious targets, and at the same time, developed countries would be able to provide the forms of financial and technological support for emerging economies to be able to accelerate their own transition into renewables and other forms of the green economy. And on the other hand, the climate change is there, and you witnessed that with the drought that you faced. And so, as you mentioned, adaptation, loss and damage, all these are crucial aspects in relation to which we have not yet found adequate answers. Adaptation is still not getting 50% of climate finance, and the loss and damage, let's keep our fingers crossed to make sure that it becomes a reality before the next COP in the Emirates. We live in a world in which we face dramatic inequalities, and inequalities that have been rising, inequalities among different people, but inequalities among different countries.
Chingakiechio muraibwense Dr. William Ruto na arorekanite gakwerera emechando Chinsa chiorogongoro Africa chigendrete gwetera gati yabo emurakera endagira nabo igo chisegi asenonya nabatebete ense ya Kenya yanyariko bagikoira libagaria busyo asokwene kiabuna yairanirie omorembe asense ya DRC naboigo asaganire chinkwana gokorwa asense ya Sudan elio kuirania omorembe abamenyi bagendere na magimabo akiraritsko nigo boigo aburetie obwamo bwechinse kubwaterana unenjere moyo gokore mechandere nse mo guchya sense yende unenjere moyo koretu bwamo bwamagenderero ase chinse mono asorogongo rwa Africa.
The Horn of Africa and the Great Lakes, we continue to face many crises and natural calamities. Kenya, in collaboration with other member states, regional organizations, and the UN, provides political leadership towards resolving some of these very complex challenges. Specifically, Kenya has taken a leading role in championing peace in Eastern DRC through the EAC-led Nairobi process. We are keen to work with all international partners to restore peace and security in the Sudan. Somalia provides an opportunity to act in concert to consolidate gains made since the deployment of AMISOM in 2007. Kenya is proud of the United Nations offices in Nairobi and has invested heavily in the UN complex and Gigiri area's infrastructure. I call upon the leadership of the UN to strengthen the United Nations office in Nairobi to effectively extend its services to the global south. We already demonstrate this goodwill in the ongoing renovation of the UN blocks A to J, and we hope that upon completion, the state-of-the-art complex will be an iconic model at the status of other UN headquarters in the global north.
Mwanchu muligereria mangana gutwikira iga se studio tukumanyigwa no mulikito bwa mangana mayejo mangi korwase county ya Nyamira neribuna omusacho yo mokure ase okugwerwa na goitwa nerigena eriria guturungana ase likuruma lia makairo ase bunge ya West Mugirango tigatutagarire nkwana buna yene kigwa amono mugambi gosomo chief bwensemeyo.
Mugambi church magata uyo kurumongolisi lakini nje ngokora assess application ya ibucha gwetera batureti bane yona nyole report buno yomo okoleme kware rocha unyare ko baka gusirio bogima esengencho ligena lya mugwera bono tuachana abasikali baito bakurukia mbere ikana nyora pali ejo erinde tuacha ko tuwa gusutia twanyolira maene nabo mugako yuaraire ase kwetera gwa kunerigena igono tole twakone family twanyori osiririo bugima bwaye niga obwete kobwe pareye nabo boroba konge kora bana inchi mpata kiriko banga ase pare gekora chinga kichine chimbe mono na bwete kokuna we bwe gari mboko bagekora na bari bare babate chai mbo bare mete igobono ga nara konguna twatakanga serikali ire chinga kichi abwango asa abantu bari bagusikana department yepara etubwatisia soko tokorore
Mwanchu murigereria no roboti rugwichania na indi nigo tugusabira omorembe no boremu ochiase amate ya Nyagusira oyurenge kwerigeria egereirere abana baye gotigana nayo mwanchu murigereria goika ase county ya Migori wana nige kigambiro ekenene kya Migori kyanyare ko bage kuigura egetwekemo abo ase bine bike biranyare ko ba bikogamberwa na koera eyemage gayo gwichorera na kwebine binge ase kigambiro egento bono kigutebania oboene gochia asabamenyi bagokwana bobisa korwa ase kigambiro ekyo nigo batebire nigo baikera richibwerio nga baigore kigambiro geke bunencheremo yokugayana ebina bire bike biranyare ko babigokorwa bitari goikigwa ase ekoti tigango totagerere chinkwana korwa sababu ataniabu.
The purpose of this program is to reduce the backlog. We all know that most of the cases involve people who are either relatives or people who have known each other for long, and they can easily resolve their cases if they involve the mediators. So that once the mediator deals with a case, it's referred back to the court for adoption of the agreement.
The county government will take the side of awareness and encouraging the Migorian to adopt and accept this way of sorting issues, especially relating to land issues. And also as a county government, we will take up the mediation way in handling some of the cases dealing within the county government and the Migorian, and more so especially the issues concerning the land.
Chiamate ange chimia isato korwa sensemo ya karachuonyo wana nigo chigendrete kuligia obokonyi ase skuremo imeyensemeyo magega yembure nyinge egendrete gutwa ase chinsemecho egentobono kyaire etoigo kubanganya korwa ase chinka chabo egekogera chinyomba chinyinge nigo chialimeire enibe nyinge gosira amo nebinte binge kagokwana chinga kicho kuligia obokonyi korwa ase serikali omugambi otenete nsemeyo nigaburira serikali nyare kubage kubeke mirobiryo bene bunencheremo yokuinyura abamenyi aba bono batabwati chinka cyabo banyare kuba bagokonywa elyo konyorerwa ase nainde banyare kuba baguchakira ubugima.
Here in Kobuya we have over 300 people who are camping here, and we have over 150 households who have been who are victims of floods. When River Miriu came out, it has destroyed crops. It has submerged some homes. Even the grazing grounds are also submerged. So we are appealing to our government, the county government, and other humanitarian departments to come for aid of these people. We know there was a petition that was tabled in Parliament concerning the mitigation of floods. It was done in 2020. The Parliamentary Select Committee came on the ground and met the people of Kobuya, and public participation was done. But up to now, we have only seen some people who came for pegging.
no murai bwabake ase bunge nene Opiyo Wandayi oyore baigo mu bunge bwensemo ya Ugunja nigo bono aereserete gusairete ekikiagerete barabo buna Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya wotenenia okorobekana okukwarubireire gokorekana lituko lya rero tigango totegerere nkwana ya ne kirenge kenene ekikiabairete barabo buna Azimio la Umoja wotenenia okorobekana okukwarubireire gokorekana lituko lya rero. Mwanchu murigereria tugusaba okwabera ekiagera roboti urundura chabuna ruganirie kurinde ndochigo cha senchera ya bene asamangana itamaya ye Chinsa chikobwatia kurinde ngwa kangambe amona sibali mwensi mwatobwatire gwetera senchera ye mitandao eyure Ndizi TV News Digital abonensemo ya Facebook nabayigo Ndizi TV News asensemo ya YouTube nabali mwensi mogo tweet to wakangambe mono sana at Ndizi TV oletobwaterana komo kweneki agwikire gwetera senchera ye bimanyererio nigakuru kwa Joshua Auta Chingaki Abigail nyancha maene kirebu na chibicha neliogi yagwikeire asenchera yobororo na inche nako yaletera senchera yobwenge nigonkoro kwa sara Nyarangi Ontita tuaro buligereria borobya ime ya Ndizi TV.
Ndizi TV, Ubwansu.